What's up, Cloud Gamers? My name is Sunny, and today's video is going to be a good one as we have a bevy of features that are being worked on that I think are coming soon, including some elusive ones we've been waiting for, like Android TV and Google TV Stadia support. We also got another game rated, and finally, the CEO of E8 has some eye-opening thoughts about Stadia and cloud gaming, and I wanted to discuss that in this video, so make sure you guys subscribe to always be up to date with all things Stadia related by hitting that red button down below. Also, hit that like button and notification bell to know the second my videos go live. So we're going to start this video with the absolutely intriguing comments that were made by EA's CEO Andrew Wilson, and he talked about cloud gaming and Stadia. One of the more eye-opening but not shocking things to come out of this was this question here where he was asked, how will games be distributed in the future? And Andrew says, I think cloud gaming is going to disrupt our industry in the same way it's disrupted every industry. At a distribution level, what we see is that when cloud comes into an industry, consumer orientation moves from ownership to access. Once that happens, subscription almost certainly rises to the leading business model for consumers because it offers tremendous access at tremendous value with incredibly low friction. And when you get those three things, you have a really strong business case. Now guys, before I go further, let me address his statement right there. Right away, I want to say I absolutely agree with him, especially when you look at the total picture of gaming and you include worldwide all those mobile gamers who right now are still gaming on some pretty crappy games with their mobile devices. The sheer convenience of what cloud gaming brings, the ability to not worry about storage space, easy and quick access to a big library of games like we see with Stadia, who now easily has over 200 titles, and then there's other services who also have hundreds of games as well. Cloud gaming is absolutely going to disrupt the industry to the dismay of many old school gamers right now. With that, I don't fully feel that physical gaming will ever go away, unlike CDs and movies, because there is a competitive segment of gamers who are always going to want that absolute top-notch performance and will pay premium for just a few milliseconds of latency. So I think gaming will always have a physical presence because it is a different set of entertainment that you're actually consuming. But when you factor every type of gamer around the world, we're talking, mobile or just everyday gamers who just play for fun, I absolutely think that cloud gaming will be a dominant force. Not sure about the dominant force, but guys, I would not be shocked when you factor, again, everyone. I mean, the low cost of entry, the fact that you can use any screen you own, subscriptions more than likely dominating and giving you tremendous value. The tech, guys, the tech is absolutely getting better and better, and leading that is Stadia itself, in my opinion. And finally, just the massive convenience. There is a reason why everyone is starting to put lots of chips into cloud gaming, so Andrew is on the money on that. Then he was asked if cloud gaming technology is ready, and he said, I think we're going to need a few more turns of the innovation cycle to get there, but it's not an if or when, it's a foregone conclusion. And I have to say I agree and disagree with this statement. I think in terms of accessibility, there is still some stuff that does need to be worked out. 5G has to be more present and readily available, and it does need to work super consistent when that does happen. But again, if we look at PS Now or xCloud, they work awful in that regard. Yes, it does need time, but if you look at Stadia or even Luna, the games are working on low internet and they're working pretty stable. Again, I can play Stadia on my 4G network there and have a smooth experience. So in general, yes, tech from these companies like Xbox need to get better, but we aren't that far away if you look at what Stadia is doing. Lastly, Andrew was asked specifically about Stadia, and the question was, has Google Stadia's stumbles changed on how you think about cloud gaming? To which he replied, it's early, right? And that's okay. That's what happens when you're on the cutting edge. I've actually played some games on Stadia, and I will tell you, the game experience is actually pretty good. It's not bad. The issue with Stadia was that for multiplayer games, it's really hard to find other people to play with early on in this cycle. These games are now social networks. These are not solo experiences that we play with in the back of our bedroom or our basement. We do this with other people. We connect around the world. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but what I saw was actually reassuring because there was a lot of goodness in the gameplay, and that's only going to get better. So guys, right there, Andrew mostly had nothing but good things to say, including what I liked at the start where he said that's what happens when you're on the cutting edge, which guys, in my opinion, a lot of people don't realize how cutting edge Stadia actually is. Not just the performance of the platform itself, which is top notch in comparison, but the features that it's coming out with. Things like Stream Connect that just doesn't get a lot of love in the mainstream gaming media, but would be absolutely praised if PlayStation did it or Xbox. And then we talk about things like the upcoming bridge mode, what we'll talk about later in this video, or even state share when it's done right. Stadia is absolutely cutting edge, and I couldn't agree more with that statement. The only thing is he did say the game experience is good, not bad, so he kind of gave the old "it was alright" kind of sentiment, but he did highlight an issue Stadia does have, and that is, yes, the multiplayer games do indeed have issues on Stadia if they are not cross-play. He is not wrong on that, and it can make the experience tough if there is certain games that you enjoy and they are centered around that online experience. But I'm gonna actually go back to what I was doing on YouTube before I even started this channel. I would cover the Nintendo Switch. Now, the Switch was about 2 years in its life cycle, and I absolutely had tons of trouble with multiplayer games over there, unless it was something like Super Smash, games that traditionally had an active presence on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation Online, even if it was a small presence, was pretty much a non-existent on the Switch games. Games like NBA 2K, I would find a hard time finding people to play with, but as years have gone on, the Switch, who has never really been considered a platform for online games, is now starting to have a small presence versus not having one at all, which is when I was covering it years ago. And I think the same thing is going to happen for Stadia. When Stadia starts to continue to expand its library, reach more countries and more gamers out there who are really starving for indie and AAA game experiences without having to spend money on an expensive box that costs way more than anything they can afford probably in their house, you will start to see more gamers online. So this is something that is really going to take many years, and it's going to take time, and I can assure you these things do grow. It just takes patience, something that I admit us gamers don't have a ton of. With all that, it's really cool to see Andrew, the CEO of EA, really give some love to cloud gaming, and to see that EA themselves know it's part of the future, and yes, subscriptions and cloud gaming will be at that forefront. Hopefully this translates to seeing more EA games on Stadia, and potentially EA Play would be awesome and welcomed. I guess we'll wait and see. So 9 to 5 Google did another APK teardown of the latest Stadia Android update, and it has brought to light some stuff that Stadia is working on. I'll have their link down below to the article, but one of the things that was uncovered was a Stadia store filter for games being added on the mobile app. This filter will make it easier to find games and such, but guys, obviously this leads to the question, why isn't there a search button, which the app on mobile is missing? I guess this is better than nothing, but I would implore the Stadia team to please work on a search button, especially since, well, you're Google of all things. There was also some evidence of more voice chat codes being found. This looks like it will be launching any day now. Having full voice chat support while gaming with buddies is a good thing, especially since there's a few mobile gamers out there, so glad to see support for this coming soon. Then we got some more stuff for the new bridge mode that has me guys super excited. To me, this is crazy good stuff because it really does lower the entry even further for people to try out Stadia. What this does is it lets you connect a controller to your phone that will connect over Wi-Fi and let you game with any gamepad you own, or you can flat out use the phone itself as the gamepad. So it looks like more information of this was uncovered, and they are working hard on this, and hopefully we get to see a release of this soon. I am personally very impressed with bridge mode, and I honestly can't talk enough about this feature and cannot wait to cover it fully on this channel. Finally, it looks like Google TV is reappearing here, which is good news, including some various audio and video adjustments. Remember, we were told we would see the release of Android TV support and Google TV support sometime this year, and I think they said the first half of the year. Well, when pressed recently, Google said that they were still on track, and talking to some people, I think this is still holding true. So hopefully we get to see the release of Android TV and Google TV support super soon. I would definitely stay tuned to the channel for that. Finally, we got another game rated in DreamWorks Spirit Lucky's Big Adventure. yet another outright game. So good stuff all around. Let me know your thoughts down below on all this news today. What do you think of EA's CEO's comments about cloud gaming and Stadia, and your thoughts on the Stadia features like bridge mode and of course Android TV and Google TV support? I'd love to hear all that down below. As always, subscribe if you're new to be up to date with all Stadia news. I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the clouds.